coming in.
Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the Malevolence, one of the most unique and powerful ships in the Clone Wars. So, the very first time we see the Malevolence is in Season 1, Episode 2 of the Clone Wars. Yeah, it's pretty early on, but immediately it makes its statures known and feared as a super weapon that the CIS just had in their back pockets, ready whenever it got destroyed, but whatever. Anyways, of course, the most prevalent detail on the ship is unique design, and also the giant ion cannon on the ship, which of course is what truly made it one of the most feared ships in the time and in the galaxy.
Brace for impact!
So, the Malevolence is capable enough to handle 3 Venator-class Star Destroyers alone, which is really impressive, with its various armaments, such as, of course, the ion cannon, but also the 500 turbo lasers and its hull of point defense laser cannons it had on the ship by standby. These all combined together in its famous 2-step tactical plan of firing the initial shot of the massive ion cannon, which of course stops the ship and gets rid of all of its electricity and all of its power to move on. No hyperdrive, no weapons, nothing. You're just floating in deep space. And then finishing the abruptly stop prey with a barrage from its other armaments. Along with weapons, the ship also had a large tractor beam able to pull in an H-type Nubian yacht, for example, into its hangar bay, and of course it had a decent deflector shield generator. So obviously it's a big boy. But the ship also had its fair share of Vulture droid ships and a Draught-class boarding ship. With its unique weapons and armaments, if you were able to maybe protect it within a larger fleet and maybe use its famed ion cannons in good use, this ship could have been even better than it already was. The ship was manufactured and built by the Sorosuub Corporation, which, of course, most Star Wars fans know, because it put out quite a few famous ships within its ancient and long lifespan as a company. For example, of course, the Dauntless Heavy Cruiser, which was an absolute beast, and the luxurious plethora of yachts they had, and which are famed across the galaxy, and plenty of other yachts, of course. Anyways, let's get into the 2 famous battles that the Malevolence took part in. First, of course, the Battle of the Fu System, where Jedi Master Plo Koon was tracking down the Malevolence alongside 3 Venators. But while traveling through the system, they were ambushed and destroyed by the ship. So of course, point to the Malevolence, but it wasn't much of a battle. Let's just say that. Anyways, the second battle, of course, it participated in was the Battle of Obrigado, which forced Dooku, Count Dooku, of course, to be found out alongside his master's ship. Plo Koon was also now desperate to find the ship once again and take it down after the embarrassment he took. So he takes his flagship, the Triumphant, which is of course a beast of Venator, to track down the Malevolence again. Yet, as he found out the Malevolence position, he attempted to send the location back to General Skywalker, Anakin Skywalker. But the Malevolence jammed his comms and ionized the Triumphant, forcing the entire ship to eject via the escape pods, leaving the ship abandoned and destroyed. Point 2 to the Malevolence. Now, of course, before we get to the coming destruction of the Malevolence, I wanted to take a minute and talk about the real-world inspiration for the amazing-looking ship. Yes, you heard me. Real-life Star Wars. Star Wars is real. Maybe soon, but for now we have a Bismarck. Or we did. The Bismarck was a mysterious and massive German ship all the way back in World War II, and I'm pretty amazed again at the Star Wars designers for the Clone Wars. They took great care in the show for all the intricate details. Of course, it's just amazing. They're coming back to World War II and looking at these ships, and they decided to make a ship based off of it. Of course, now we have the Malevolence. Anyways, other than the Bismarck, though, Russell G. Chong, who is a lead designer for Star Wars, based an unused piece of concept art from Star Wars Episode 3, of course, that being Revenge of the Sith, which is top 2 Star Wars movies all time. Anyways, Chong took inspiration from the shell-like designs of the Mon Calamari cruiser, which of course we should all know from the original movies, and the GR-75 medium transport, while also integrating city-like trenches akin to those of the Death Star, that of course we should know again if you've seen the original movies. But I think it's really cool that this ship, even though I think it was on for 3 episodes, had this much work put into it. It's really amazing how much detail and support the designers had at the beginning of the Clone Wars. Anyways, overall, a well thought out, interesting ship indeed. But let's get to the final fight for the Malevolence. This next section is all from the Star Wars Wikipedia. Go check the website out. It's great. It has practically everything you need from Star Wars, and that's where I get most of my data from, other than the other sites I use. For now, enjoy. For a bit of context, Amidala, C-3PO, R2-D2, and Anakin snuck onto the ship with Kenobi, with Amidala having overheard earlier that the hyperdrive was nearly repaired by some B-1 battle droids. The trio hatched their new plan. Skywalker, of course Anakin Skywalker, instructed R2-D2 to find C-3PO. Kenobi would make certain that the Malevolence's hyperdrive stayed offline. Kenobi's objective objective was overheard by Grievous, however, who was monitoring all internal comms, or communications, and Kenobi was intercepted by Grievous at the ship's engineering station, with the cyborg general aided by Droidekas, B2 Sorosuub battle droids, and B1 battle droids. However, Kenobi being Kenobi uses force abilities to push the Droidekas into the other droids when a Kenobi move, allowing him to chance the escape. The Jedi is pursued by Grievous, and the two partook in a lightsaber duel in the midst of a rail car system, but Kenobi made his escape on a passing railjet. Let me pause this for a second. I don't know if the ship in the show from the exterior showed how large it was, but it had a whole rail car system to transport materials. It just comes to show how massive the ship was and surprising that it was built in such secrecy. Amidala and Anakin Skywalker made for the bridge, having dealt with several super battle droids that were pursuing them. Skywalker, of course being Anakin, chopped down the droids pilots on duty before hot wiring the ship and leaving a, let's just say, surprise for Grievous. Amidala cleaned up the destroyed droids quickly before they entered, and the pair exited the bridge just as another droid crew arrived. On the way down, the pair encountered C-3PO and R2-D2, of course, to meet back up, and the four of them made for the Twilight, which is the ship we see in the episode, and Kenobi arrived at the airlock just as the group entered, and they quickly detached from Malevolence, making their escape. And with the rescue team clear, the Republic cruisers opened fire on the Malevolence once more, and Grievous jumped into his personal starfighter, of course being the Solus 1, keyed not to let the Jedi escape, and Grievous was contacting Willis in pursuit of the Twilight and informed that the hyperdrive had been repaired. Grievous, delighted, ordered the ship to retreat to the secret separatist base in Sector 4. However, the Navi computer, or Navi, whatever, malfunctioned and directed the Malevolence towards a nearby dead moon of Antar, thanks to Anakin Skywalker and Amidala, the dead moon of Antar, which is not a fun place to be, courtesy of Anakin's earlier hot wiring. And the droid pilots were unable to reset the Navi computer, sending the heavy cruiser, the Malevolence, crashing into the dead moon of Antar. Grievous fled the system, cutting off transmission with Duke in the process, and Malevolence was no more, and the crew of the Republic cruisers celebrated. I'm gonna be real with you guys, that part got cut out at the end, my outro, so I'll do it again after the editing process. All I have to say is I love that episode of the show, and I hope you guys go check it out for yourself, or that arc. It was amazing, and I love the Clone Wars. If you've yet to see it, make sure to go see it. Anyways, that was Malevolence. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned a lot. I sure did. And make sure to go check out all the other Star Wars videos I've got uploaded on the channel, if you want to. Or the Batman Rogue Gallery videos. I'm really hoping to put out a Marvel video soon about a certain Spider-Man villain, so maybe watch out for that. Anyways, without further ado, goodbye.